Hey guys, what's up? I'm IT Nate. Today we're going to talk about motherboards. So you're looking to build a perfect trading computer, but you don't know what motherboard to choose? Keep watching. Alright, so first off, I want to apologize. A few months ago, my wife and I did some house cleaning, cleaned up some of our junk that we didn't need anymore, and I threw away all my old motherboards. So I don't have any props, I don't have anything for you to look at. All you guys look at is this dumb, ugly mug. So if you want to turn off your monitor or close your eyes, I won't be offended, I promise. You can just listen to my sweet, melodious voice. Alright, so motherboards. You're building a trading computer, you need a motherboard, right? So what motherboard do you choose? There's kind of like, what, thousands of them out there. How do you choose? How do you start? Where do you even begin, right? So I got 4 things that you need to look at when shopping for the motherboard. Number 1, you need to pick out your CPU. That's going to determine what platform you actually want to run your processor, or what platform you need on your motherboard. So pick out your processor. You can go AMD, you can go Intel, you can go the Core i, whatever series, 7, 9, 5, 3, whatever you want to do. You can go AMD Ryzen. But basically just pick what you want. This isn't a video about picking out CPUs or anything, but if you want to know a little bit more about those, I usually go to like CPU benchmark or something to kind of get an idea for where the processor that I'm looking at kind of falls in the scale of things. And if I can maybe spend a few more dollars and get a better one, or if I should save a few dollars and get one that's on maybe a step down, but really doesn't hurt you that much. So as a rule of thumb, I usually start with the Core i7. I built a lot of computers with that, and it's a pretty solid platform. So that's usually where I start, and then I adjust based on my budget from there. So number 1, CPU. Number 2, case size. So you want a big case, you want a little case, you want a medium case. How big a machine do you actually want to build? If you go with a full ATX case and board size, you're going to get a lot more room for like expansion ports and hard drives and all that kind of hoopla. But you may not need that. If you go with like a micro ATX, which is kind of the other most common board size, it'll be a little bit much smaller form factor. You'll get less room to put in extra cards and hard drives, but that may not be a big deal for you. If you were just building a simple trading computer, you may not need any of that stuff. So that's what you want to look at. You need to kind of get an idea for how big of a case you want, and then some of that will kind of dictate how many video cards you can put in, but for the most part, 2 video cards is fine, which that's the next one. Number 3, video cards. How many monitors do you want to run? Do you want to run like 500 monitors like you see in all these movies and have some crazy like homeroom experience? Like, what is it, 1984? Is that the movie that they do that? They have like whole wall like TVs. Anyway, you could do that if you want, but that's probably a little overkill. Clay actually did a video a while back about what monitors you should have, or how many monitors you should have for trading. So I'll link that down below, but basically the gist of it is 2 or 3 is gonna be more than plenty for trading for most people. So how many video cards do you need then? Most video cards will support 2 or 3 monitors out of the box. So you can probably get by with just having 1 video card slot. If you want to run like 5 or 6 or so, you're probably gonna need 2 slots, which you can certainly do, but that's something you need to look at ahead of time. So those slots that you need for video cards are PCIe, X16, 3.0, well 3.0 at the time of this video, it could be 3.1 or 5 or 4, whatever, by the time you watch this video, but basically your video card is going to dictate which slot you need, and it's that PCIe X16 slot. So if you need more than 1 video card, you're obviously going to need more than one of those slots. You can get boards, I think I've seen them with 4 or 5 slots if you want that many, but it's probably a little overkill. 1 or 2 is probably average, or probably adequate, and that's actually pretty common. So that's number 3. Number 4 is, I'm actually gonna have 5 things. I lied. I'm gonna have 5 different things for you to look at. Number 4 is RAM. So how much memory do you want to run? So basically, your board's gonna tell you how much memory you can run, but the number of slots really dictates how much memory you can run, more than what the maximum capacity is. So for instance, I've seen boards that have like 128 gig of available maximum memory supported, but they only have like 2 or maybe 4 slots. So you're not gonna buy a 32 gig RAM stick. They don't even make them as far as I know, and they're gonna be super expensive if they did. So at this point in time, that's kind of really not what dictates it. You really need to be more concerned about how many slots there are. So say you wanna run 8 gig of RAM, well, you're gonna be fine with 2 slots because you can get 1 8 gig stick and you'll be fine. Typically, I recommend you start with 8 or maybe 16 gig. So if you get a board that's got 4 slots on it, it'll probably be more than adequate. You can put in 2 8 gig sticks to start out with. You got 16 gig and you have plenty of room to expand later down the road if you wanted to. All right, so that was number 4. Number 5 is hard drives. In the past, the standard connection has been, well, way long ago, is IDE. I don't think they even put those on boards anymore. But now it's SATA 3.0, which gives you 6 gig per second, and that's gonna let you connect the older platter hard drives as well as SSD drives. So that's kind of the generic will work with anything type of drive. The newest connection though is an M.2 connection, and that lets you put a NVMe, I think it is, style hard drive, and that attaches right to your motherboard, and those are like super fast. So personally, that's the way I recommend going, and if your budget can support it, that's probably your best option, because it's going to make all of your programs and everything run that much faster. But if you can't afford that, or it doesn't fit in your budget or whatever, or if you have an old drive you want to reuse, you can do just a standard SSD drive and use the SATA connection. So that's kind of something you're going to have to look at as well, is does my board support M.2? And if so, do I want to use it, or do I even care? So that's pretty much it. So as a rundown, you need to pick out your CPU, how big of a case do you want, and then you need to look at how many video cards you want, how much RAM you want, and then what kind of hard drive connections you need. So that's pretty much the main thing. You can look at like the ports and stuff that come out the back, but if you're gonna put an external video card in, pretty much the only thing you care about is USB ports, and pretty much all of them have like a million USB ports. So that's not gonna be an issue at all. So that's pretty much it when picking out a motherboard. I will link to the motherboards that Clay and I use down below in the description, but my goal is not for you to just go out and buy those motherboards. The goal of this video, and hopefully it helps, is for you to be able to go and pick your own motherboard. Build it based on the criteria that you want and what you need, and that you get the perfect motherboard for you. As you can see, Clay and I use different motherboards. We have very different needs. He's a day trader. I'm a IT guy that does coding and video editing. So we have two very different needs for our systems, and they're actually built at different times too. So you can see we have different motherboards. So if you get to the end of your research and you find out like, oh hey, one of the motherboards I was looking at is the one that Clay has, great, yeah, go ahead and get that one. It's a great motherboard, he's had no problems with it. But by no means start with that motherboard. Start with what I talked about, going through the list of things you need, and then if you come across it, that'd be great. So if you have any other questions, definitely let us know. I hope these videos will find you helpful or be helpful to you, and have a great day.